Please be seated. I would please ask that you either turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate. Good afternoon. I am Pablo Arenas, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. I want to welcome you to Texas A&M International University's 2016 Spring Commencement Ceremony. This is the second of 3 ceremonies we will have today. This afternoon, the A.R. Sanchez School of Business will graduate 151 students, and 22 graduate students from the College of Arts and Sciences will receive their degrees. This morning, the College of Arts and Sciences awarded 306 undergraduate degrees. Later this afternoon, the College of Education, the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, and University College will graduate 198 students. In total, by the time we finish today, we will have graduated 680 students. As is our tradition, we will now present the flags of the nations that are represented in this afternoon's graduating class. As each flag is introduced, will the graduating students from that country please rise and remain standing? Brazil. China. Colombia. India. Mongolia. Uruguay. Mexico. The United States of America. This afternoon, the U.S. flag is being presented by members of TAMIU's Army Reserve Officer Training Program. Please rise and join Claudio Arias, Director of the Soccer Program, in singing the national anthem. You may be seated. We have such talent among our faculty and staff. I was afraid the flags were going to fall off the walls. This afternoon, the University Mace was carried by Dr. Jim Norris, President of the Faculty Senate. The faculty marshals who led the students in the processional are Dr. Kate Houston, Assistant Professor of Criminal Justice, and Dr. Jorge Brusa, Professor of Finance. The Sanchez School of Business is recognizing outstanding graduates this afternoon by asking them to serve as student marshal and college banner bearer. Will you please rise when I call your name and remain standing? Serving as student marshal is Gabriel Gill. And the banner bearer is Jessica Prieto. Congratulations on your success. You may be seated. I am now pleased to introduce the stage party. To my left is Dr. Ray Keck, President of the University. Next to Dr. Keck is Mr. Robert Albritton, Texas A&M University System Regent and our commencement speaker. Next to him is Dr. Manita Ramirez, Vice President for Student Success. And next to her is Ms. Candy Hine, Associate Vice President for Institutional Advancement. To my right is Mr. Juan Castillo, Vice President for Finance and Administration. And next to him is Roseanne Palacios, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. We are also joined by Dr. Steve Sears, Dean of the A.R. Sanchez School of Business. Dr. Tom Mitchell, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Catherine Whiteman, Dean of the College of Education. Dr. Glenda Walker, Dean of the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. Dr. Conchita Hickey, Dean of University College. Dr. Jim Norris, who was introduced earlier. Dr. Jeff Brown, Dean of Graduate Studies and Research. Mr. John Alistair Love, President of the Alumni Association. And Mr. Joshua Yamas, outgoing President of Student Government Association. And seems to have a following. I now invite Dr. Keck to the podium to introduce our commencement speaker.
Soon-to-be graduates, ladies and gentlemen, parents, citizens of South Texas, it gives me great pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mr. Robert L. Albritton. Robert Albritton graduated with honors from Texas A&M University in 1971, where he majored in both economics and marketing. Upon graduation, Mr. Albritton commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Mr. Albritton has had a storied career in the business world. In 1978, he joined Texas American Bank as senior vice president. Shortly thereafter, he formed his first independent company, Albritton Development Company, which became the holding company for other ventures, including Mayfair Capital, Albritton Energy, an oil and gas company, and Albritton Partners, a nationally recognized real estate development company. In 1988, he formed Mayfair Investments, LLC, a company he continues to serve as chairman and CEO. In 1994, Mr. Albritton started Railroad Controls Limited, RLC. Under his leadership, RLC became the largest privately owned railroad signaling and communication company in America. Expansion of services to railroads has continued with the formation of RCL Wiring and RCL Burco, another company he continues to serve as chairman and CEO. Mr. Albritton has served a number of public and private sector boards. He is active in several charitable and civic organizations involved with both the United States Golf Association and the Southern Golf Association. And of tremendous and paramount importance to us, Mr. Albritton was appointed in 2005 by Governor Greg Abbott to our Texas A&M University System Board of Regents. As a regent of our system, it is his responsibility to oversee, guide, and protect the academic and university lives of all the students under the name of A&M. Regent Albritton, welcome to Laredo.
Good afternoon. It is always a wonderfully auspicious occasion to stand before graduating students, students that have put in so much work, so much time, so much dedication. President Keck, faculty, staff, families, friends, and especially you graduates today. I want to tell you that as a regent and on behalf of all the other regents within the A&M system, we are extremely, extremely proud of what you have accomplished today. Now, I can't tell you that I know exactly what a dust devil is. However, I know what they are when they're out spinning around, but I've tried really hard to visualize a dust devil as a mascot. And luckily, after the last ceremony, I got to see it. I must tell you, I'm still very confused what a dust devil is. This is an incredibly unique school, and one that I hope you all have grown to appreciate through your time here. This school has the largest Hispanic enrollment of any school in the United States of America. This school has one of the top 5 return on investment for each student. And what do I mean by that? Which to me is probably one of the greatest indicators of success here. And what that simply means is the cost that you have expended to get your education will have one of the greatest returns through your life. And to say that you're in the top 5 of colleges in this country is something that you should also be very, very proud of, especially Dr. Keck and your entire faculty and staff. Today is a day of dreams. Every one of us dream about this day as we start our first day in kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, and here we are at the culmination. I'm going to ask you never to stop the dream. Always dream. Dream big. Dream the impossible. And then have the perseverance to pursue that dream. For it is the dream that gets you up every morning. It is the dream that you chase. And let me make sure you understand, I never want you to catch that dream. Every time you approach your dream, I'm going to ask you to change your dream again. Dream something bigger. Look at something bigger. Never, ever, ever quit. You don't quit in anything in life. You have obviously, every single one of you all sitting here have not quit over these last 4, 5 years. You have shown that you have the perseverance to succeed. I'm going to ask you to take that same perseverance out into this great world which you're about to enter. I'm not here today to impart all kinds of bits of wisdom, because you have to have that to be able to impart it. And I do, though, want to leave you with a couple of things. Number one is that years and years and years and years and years and years ago, I sat where you're sitting today. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I have no earthly idea who my commencement speaker was. So there will be no test. There will be no, my job is not to have you try and remember what was said here today. My job is to basically say congratulations and say that the world waits for you. Don't ever, ever, ever be afraid to make a decision. You're going to be faced with many, many decisions in your life. And the sooner that we learn to make decisions and act on those decisions, the better we're going to be. The other is, a lot of people today view success as a bad word. It's a bad thing by a lot of people to be successful. They say that you are successful at the expense of someone else. Well, I dispute that. I know very, very many successful people that have spent their life making sure that others had every opportunity to succeed such as they did. To succeed requires action. Action requires decisions. Decisions that may be correct, they may not be correct. But I will tell you, to succeed, you have to learn how to fail. You will never, ever be successful if you're afraid to fail. You will never put yourself in a position to succeed because you are frightened of failure. Remember that failure is usually just 1 millimeter away from success. Did someone who qualified for the U.S. Olympics in the 100-yard dash and finished 6th or 7th, did they fail? No, they didn't fail. They tried. They were in the race. They put themselves in a position to be in that race. That's what you have to do every single day, is put yourself in a position to be in the race. Never, ever be afraid to fail. Never, ever forget, though, what the sting of failure felt like. It's not something that we want to do every day. But what we do learn from that sting is we're not going to make that same mistake twice. But the flip side to failure is that you put yourself in a position to succeed. You did not come here, you did not spend all this time asking the right questions, studying the right courses, committing yourself to get here today to not succeed. Success takes many forms. A lot of people always say, well, success is what does he have in the bank account? And I'm going to tell you, that is not the measure of success. Measure of success is, have I dreamed the dream? Have I done everything I can to attain that dream? And am I as good as I possibly can at what it is I'm trying to do within that dream? That, at the end of the day, is success. None of you all would be here, I guess, if you did not have the support of your parents, your grandparents, your friends, your siblings. And at this point in time, if I could, I'd love everyone in the audience that has a child, a friend, here to stand up and let us recognize you for the sacrifices you've had to make on their behalf. The other thing I'd like to ask is a show of hands of those that are the first in their family to get a degree. I'm going to... Well, I can say that you've already proved that you're leaders. And through this leadership, you've paved the way for others in your family and other families to follow in your footsteps. That's leadership. As I said earlier, learn from your mistakes. Do not be afraid of those mistakes. Also understand that the degree that you have today, more than likely, you will not use that degree over the entire period of your life. As a matter of fact, most of you will be in occupations that have really not much to do with your degree. As a matter of fact, most of you all will have 2 to 3 entirely different careers over your lifetime. That is the excitement of life. That's the excitement of an education, because what they taught you here was, again, to ask the right questions, to persevere, to challenge, and then to succeed. I'd like to share with you a personal message about failure, learning from failure, and then finally learning how to succeed. I have 4 children, all of them Aggies. My second oldest son was an adventurous young high school student, to say the least. And one day I got a call from the principal, and he said, "Mr. Albritton, I've got some bad news for you. I'm going to have to suspend your son." I said, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "Well, we had another PDA experience." And I go, "Well, what exactly is," I mean, you can imagine PDA. What is PDA? Public display of affection. And I'm going, now that has a lot of connotations as well. Bottom line is, I said, well, let me tell you what. I don't want you to suspend this boy. I want you to expel him. And he goes, "I beg your pardon?" I said, "No. It's time that he learns there are consequences for decisions. Usually good decisions, good consequences. Bad decisions, usually bad consequences." So I picked him up, and in Fort Worth, Texas, there's a street downtown that has 3 recruiting offices. They got the Army, they got the Navy, and they got the Air Force. And I said, "Son, pick one." Of course, he looked at me. You can imagine how he looked at me. He said, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "Oh, we're not kidding at all. Pick one." So he did. He picked the Navy. The Navy said, "This is great, but you got to get a GED." He said, "Okay." He proceeded to get his GED. He then went in the Navy. He was on the USS Teddy Roosevelt when the first airplanes launched to attack Afghanistan. He decided that the Navy maybe wasn't what he wanted to do, so he said, "Dad, I don't know that I want to make a career out of the Navy." And I said, "Well, that's great, but you're going to have a plan. There's no reason to get out not knowing what you're going to do." So he came back and said, "Dad, I want to go to A&M and I want to be a banker." And I said, "Well, you're not going to get in A&M immediately. You're going to have to go to junior college." He went to junior college in Fort Worth, and he graduated with a 4.0. He was accepted into Mays Business School, and he graduated with a 4.0. He left the school, was hired by a bank, excelled there, and is now successfully running a company. The reason I share this is that you never, ever, ever stop. You continue to chase. You continue to do what is needed to be successful. In closing, before I confer for you to give the degrees, which is really the only purpose y'all bring me here for anyway, I understand it. I wrote a letter. And I wrote a letter to the world on your behalf. And if you allow me, I'd like to read this letter. Dear world, our dust devils graduate today. It's all going to be sort of a strange and new to them for a while. And I wish you to sort of treat them gently. You see, up to now, they have been king or queen of the roost. They have been boss of the backyard. Their parents have always been near to soothe and repair their feelings. But now things are going to be different. Today, they're going to walk across this stage, wave their hand, and start out on the great adventure. It is an adventure that might take them across continents, across oceans. It's an adventure that will probably include wars and tragedy and sorrow. To live their lives in the world they will have to live in will require faith, love, and courage. So world, I wish you would sort of look out after them. Take them by the hand and teach them things they will have to know, but do it gently if you can. They will have time to learn that all people are not just, that all people are not true, but teach them also that for every scoundrel, there's a hero, that for every crooked politician, there's a great and dedicated leader. Teach them that for every enemy, there is a friend. It will take time, world, I know, but teach them that a nickel earned is far more valuable than a dollar found. Teach them to lose so they will enjoy winning that much more. Steer them away from envy, if you can, and teach them the secret of quiet laughter. Let them learn early that bullies are the easiest people to whip in the schoolyard. Teach them the wonders of books, but also let them ponder the eternal mystery of birds on the wing, bees in the sun, and flowers on the green. In life, world, teach them it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Teach them to have faith in their own ideas, even if everyone says they are wrong. Teach them to be gentle with gentle people and tough with tough people. Try to give these graduates the strength not to follow the crowd when everyone is getting on the bandwagon. Teach them to listen to all people, but teach them also to filter all they hear on a screen of truth and take just the good that siphons through. Teach them how to laugh when they are sad. Teach them there is no shame in tears. Teach them there can be glory in failure and despair in success. Teach them to scoff at sentence and beware of too much sweetness. Teach them to sell their brains and their brawn to the highest bidder, but never, ever put a price on their heart. Teach them how to close their ears to a howling mob, but to stand and fight if they think they are right. Teach them there are things and times when they must gamble, and there are times when they must pass the dice. Treat them gently, world, if you can, but don't coddle them, because only the test of fire makes great steel. Let them have the courage to be impatient. Let them have patience to be brave. Let them be no man's man or woman. Teach them always to have sublime faith in themselves, because then they will always have sublime faith in mankind. This is quite an order, world, but see what you can do. You see, they are special. They are dust devils, and they are ready to embrace you. Yours truly, Bob Albritton. I wish each and every one of you all to dream the best dreams, to have a fabulous journey, and to succeed beyond your wildest imagination. On behalf of the Board of Regents of the Texas A&M system, I congratulate you. On behalf of the Board of Regents of the system, I now confer that everyone here received their diploma, and tell you again how very, very proud we are of each and every one of you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Regent Albritton, and please accept this token of our gratitude and to remind you of a May afternoon in Laredo in 2016.
Now comes my favorite part of the ceremony. It is now my honor to introduce Kiara Elliott, Distinguished Student Scholar for the A.R. Sanchez School of Business, who will present remarks this afternoon. Kiara, will you please make your way to the stage? Kiara Elliott is the daughter of Silvana Elliott and Jose Antonio Rosas. She is married to Oscar Garabay. Originally from Salto, Uruguay, Kiara graduated in the top 5% of her class at United High School. Today, she graduates summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in accounting, having earned a 3.97 grade point average. And she did tell me who the professor was that gave her the 1B that she has. While a student at TAMIU, Kiara has been a member of the Sanchez School of Business Accounting Devils and has served as a member of the Texas Community Bank's Junior Board of Directors. She also received a VITA certificate. Ms. Elliott plans to pursue a Master of Professional Accountancy and wants to grow professionally by sitting for the CPA exam. Please welcome the A.R. Sanchez Junior School of Business Distinguished Student Scholar, Kiara Elliott.
Thank you, Dr. Arenas. Good afternoon, Dr. Keck, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, faculty and staff, parents, family, and friends. It is truly an honor to have been selected to speak before you today as a representative of students graduating from Texas A&M International University. This is an exciting time for all of us as we reflect on a chapter that is coming to a close and look forward to an exciting new chapter of our lives. This new chapter will take us to journeys that may include additional studies in TAMIU, one of Texas' top-ranking universities, or into the workforce, where we can apply all that we have learned over the last several years. While I am sure we can all agree this journey has been difficult, at the same time, it's been incredible, because this university was the perfect place for us to grow, form incredible ties, and meet extraordinary people. This university is fortunate to have great professors that truly care about our education and our success. And I'm sure I'm not just speaking about myself, but many of us will agree that we were truly inspired by our faculty. They help us believe in ourselves and in our capacity to achieve everything we wanted, even when at times we thought this was impossible. For this and the many more learning lessons that went beyond the confines of our textbooks, I want to thank the university's faculty and staff. Also, this university, as its name implies, is an international university, which provides us with opportunities to meet and interact with extraordinary people from all over the world. I am just one of many that is an example of this cultural exchange. I am proud to be from Uruguay. I consider myself part Mexican because my husband and his family are from Mexico. And I consider myself part American because I have lived here in the US for almost 9 years. Diversity and exposure to different cultures made our university experience a lot more enriching. And we are now better prepared to respectfully step forward to lead a more unified world. Remember, here at this university, where we made the strongest connections, we found our study groups, our teammates, our business network, our friends, our best friends, and maybe even our soulmates. In the process of growing up and figuring out what we wanted to achieve academically and socially, we even found ourselves. But don't get me wrong, university life was not all fun and joy. A lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifices was required by us all. To go beyond a high school diploma is already a step above the norm. To enroll for classes, pay tuitions, buy the textbook, actually read them and go to class, participate, learn and master the different course materials is quite a daunting task. Surely, we all had stressful weeks full of reading, homework, report, tests, and presentations that seemed never ending, and we felt that we wanted to give up. But our perseverance and determination brought us to where we find ourselves on this very special day. We should feel very proud of ourselves for achieving what we have, with the knowledge that the best days for us are ahead, maybe here at TAMIU for further studies, or maybe in an exciting new job, or in whatever we set our minds to do. Finally, we should thank our parents, our family and friends. Without them, we could not have done it. They are our pillars, our strength and moral support, and the ones that taught us about honesty, determination, and hard work. They gave us the freedom to dream big and encouraged us to follow our dreams. They made sacrifices so we could be here and make them proud for what we have accomplished. For all this that is made invaluable today and tomorrow, we thank our parents, our family, and friends. I will end my statement that I believe embodies this journey here at TAMIU, what it has meant for us, and what lies ahead for us. As Henry David Thoreau sagely wrote, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined." Congratulations, graduates. We did it.
Kiara, please accept this gift as a token of the university's appreciation for what you've done over the years and as a remembrance of today. Thank you. Dr. Keck, will you please join me at the podium? And now, will the candidates for the respective degrees and all faculty please rise? Dr. Keck, I certify that the graduates whose names will appear on the official graduation list will have completed all work required for their degrees and will be in compliance with the policies and regulations as approved by the Board of Regents and published in the official catalog of Texas A&M International University. On behalf of this community of scholars, the faculty, and staff, I recommend that their degrees be conferred.
By the authority vested in me by the Chancellor, by the Board of Regents of the Texas A&M University System, acting under the enabling legislation establishing this university, and in pursuance of the recommendation of the faculty and academic administration, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree to which you are entitled with all its rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Baccalaureate graduates, you may now move the tassel from right to left. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Marshals, will you please escort the candidates to the stage?
Mr. President, I now present to you those individuals upon whom a baccalaureate degree from the A.R. Sanchez Jr. School of Business has been conferred. Jessica R. Aguilera. Dylan Allen. Priscilla Almanza Maltos. Justin Alvarado. Héctor Andrés Caballero. Edgar Raúl Campos. Lisa Marie Canales. David Canseco. Erica Carriedo. Yesenia G. Carrizales. Juan Eduardo Castillo. Roxana A. Castillo. Jesús Alejandro Cavazos. Rocío Cavazos. Paulette Elizabeth Chavira. Nancy Colchado. Mayra Alejandra Cortez. Crystal Cristina Cruz. Azalia de la Garza Sanchez. Graduating summa cum laude, Kiara Elliott. Paola de la Garza. Rogelio Adrián de la Garza. Stacy Crystal de la Rosa. Jeanette Domínguez. Ángel Flores. Graduating cum laude, Jessica Gaitán. Andrea Galván. Arturo Iván García. Luis A. García Jr. Adrian Garza. Hugo Garza Jr. Graduating magna cum laude, Linda Garza. Luis Alberto Garza Jr. Graduating magna cum laude, Gabriel Guillermo Gil. Sam Magruder Goldfarb III. Christian Peniel Gomez. Tania Gonzalez. Luis Enrique Hernández. Daniel Allen Hurd Jr. Rubén Alberto Lara. Graduating cum laude, Andrea Lasalde. Emilio Adán Lerma Jr. María Guadalupe Luna. Graduating magna cum laude, Yesenia Macías Peña. Athena J. Martínez Cerda. Gloria Stephanie Martinez. Nayeli Alejandra Martinez. Mark Anthony Mitchell. Daniela Molina Medellín. Diana Mondragón. Jeanette Morales. Kimberly Lisette Moreno. Jennifer Catherine Ochoa Cortez. Cynthia B. Ontiveros. Stefanelli Ortega. Beatriz Ortegón. Giselle Astrid Ortiz. Rafael Oviedo. Graduating magna cum laude, Mariana Pantoja. Adriana Elizabeth Pedraza. Argenis Pérez. Jeanette Pérez. José Luis Pichardo Jr. Graduating magna cum laude, Jessica Isabel Prieto. José Pulido Jr. Carlos Quiroga. Randy Quiroz. Cecilia Ramírez. Graduating cum laude, Daisy Yvette Ramírez. Carla Karina Ramírez. Norma Elizabeth Ramírez. Juan Sebastián Ramírez Llanes. Graduating cum laude, Denise Carolina Ramos. Oscar Jesús Ramos. Cynthia Rendón. Fermín Rendón III. Melissa Yvette Rendón. Jennifer Joyce Reyes. David Rocha Cunha. Daniela Rodríguez. Mark Anthony Rosas. Daisy Rubio. Erica D. Saldarriaga. Graduating cum laude, Denise Andrea Sanchez. Humberto Sanchez III. Paola Guadalupe Sanchez. Sandy Santoyo. Carlos A. Serna. Adelina J. Simpson. Eduardo Solchaga. Graduating cum laude, Erica Solis. Ernesto Valdez Jr. Kayla Vasquez. Jesus Vasquez Jr. Jessica Wu. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the baccalaureate graduates from the A.R. Sanchez School of Business. Mr. President, I now present to you those individuals upon whom a master's degree from the College of Arts and Sciences has been conferred. Ana Cristel Gamboa. Oscar Leonel Martinez. David S. Santos. Andrea P. Almaguer. Desiree Rubio Leal. Xochitl Tovar. Jonathan Treviño. Elia Carolina García Herrera. Julia Patricia Orduña. Betsy Abasta. Hangshan Feng. Tanya Yvette Garza. Aldo Vasquez. Jamil Malik Villarreal. Gina Nicolette Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the master's graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. Mr. President, I now present to you those individuals upon whom a master's degree from the A.R. Sanchez Jr. School of Business has been conferred. Eric Aguilar. Linda C. Cantu. Crispin Eliud Ugartechea Caracheo. Juan Gerardo Cervantes Alba. Joanna Inés Cornejo Flores. Oscar Javier Dávila Gutiérrez. Rubén Omar de la Rosa Talamantes. Cindy Elizalde Ramírez. Shaby Criseldi Gonzalez Fisher. Jennifer Vasquez. Amanda Marie Garza. Roque Garza. Jorge Arturo Garza Faz. Esengo Gocho Gos. Ann Elizabeth Gutierrez. Daniel Efren Gutierrez Lira. Ernesto Haynes Jr. Alan G. Jackson Jr. Arturo Jasso Guerrero. Gustavo Eugenio Leal Ortiz. Erika López Rosales. Orlando Lozano. Mario A. Martínez. Norma Martínez. José Gerardo Rodríguez González. Lorena Rodríguez. Areli Salinas. Claudia Guadalupe Sierra. Cindy Solano. Star Simone Spencer. David Villarreal. José Agustín Villavicencio Sánchez. Patricia Alejandra Delgado Chapa. David Ed Flores. Stephanie Lynn González. Analí Inés Guajardo. Eduardo Hernández. Michelle Olivas. José de Jesús Vázquez González. Alisa A. González. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the master's graduates from the A.R. Sanchez School of Business.
Dr. Keck, I have the privilege of presenting one candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy degree in International Business Administration. Dr. Bolotuya Ichiptaban will be hosted by her major professor, Dr. Siddhartha Shankar and Dean Sears. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Texas A&M International University Spring 2016 graduates.
On behalf of the entire university community, I congratulate all you graduates upon the completion of your degree. And just in a few moments, you will go forth into this beautiful Laredo early summer afternoon, raining, your diploma proclaiming your readiness to enter that company of men and women prepared by a university to labor, to lead, and to inspire. We in the university have done what we can for you, and now it is your turn. Contrary to what is often asserted, I assure you that the world waiting outside this campus is no more daunting or cruel or complex than the world has ever been. All literature and history, especially the ancient writings, record the same dizzying, confusing array: cruelty and mercy, ignorance and enlightenment, greed and charity, falsehood and truth. Different, fragile, without precedent is a government and a society conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men and all women are created equal. Thomas Jefferson articulated it, George Washington brought it to life, Abraham Lincoln preserved it, Eleanor Roosevelt saw clearly what it meant for us all, Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King brought reality and dream together. I challenge you as you begin your work and your new life, inspired by these examples, prepared by this university, that this conviction that the dignity and welfare of each man and each woman is, for all of us together, our most precious possession. May it be said when you are done, we are better because he passed by. We are better because she was with us. As with everything else in your life, you needed support to get to this day. Regent Albritton we've saluted your parents and your friends. I invite you to stand and salute and thank the faculty and the staff of this university that mentored you, guided you, criticized you when you needed it, and loves you to this point. Join me in thanking faculty and staff. I now invite Mr. John Alistair Love to offer some words from the Texas A&M International University Alumni Association. Please be seated.
Good afternoon, fellow Dust Devils. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I congratulate you for all that you've done and invite you to become a part of the association. Probably like me in my course, some of you will leave the university and go on to find adventure and profession, but I hope also, like myself, some of you will come back, and so I'll share briefly part of my experience and story with you. I graduated, came with a master's degree from TAMIU, went on to Florida, went on to other places in Latin America. My wife is an alumnus of the school, and we moved back to Laredo. About 2 to 3 years into my profession here in Laredo, I started to come back to the university to participate in the myriad of wonderful activities we have, including world-class sporting activities, beautiful art galleries, concerts and forms of entertainment that don't exist anywhere else in Laredo and that we should be much proud of. I decided one day that I wanted to learn more about the Alumni Association and to simply be with people that I had studied in class with and to really be a part of a younger group that was focused on learning and contributing to the community, not only the university, but also the greater Laredo community. We have been very successful in that. I have learned and personally benefited not only from the relationships at the Alumni Club, but here at the university, and invite you all to do so. You will be very pleased, I think. Please go forth and be very proud of all that you have accomplished. Know that the Alumni Association is here with waiting arms. There are opportunities to mentor within the Alumni Association and the community, and above all, make TAMIU proud. Congratulations.
Now, I invite everybody to stand and join Claudia Arias, who will lead us in the singing of the Alma Mater, which is printed on the back of your program, after which Josh Yamas, outgoing president of the Student Government Association, will offer a prayer of gratitude.
We would like to invite all alumni, family, and friends to dedicate this time for a moment of silence, meditation, or prayer. And gentlemen, please remove your hats. As we gather this afternoon in celebration of our academic accomplishment, we are grateful for the completion of this stage of our lives and for the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. We acknowledge all those events over these past years, the joys, hard work, and even the difficulties, at times accompanied by sadness, for without them, we wouldn't have become the men and women that we are today. We ask for the strength to change our global landscape, for strength of mind and spirit to productively coexist with our fellow human beings, and for achieving peaceful solutions to our global problems. May our new alumni never forget this part of their lives, and may our efforts prove fruitful. Go in peace.
You may be seated. I would like at this time to recognize 3 individuals who have served Texas A&M International University for a combined 88 years. When I call your name, I ask you to please stand. Ms. Candy Hine, Associate Vice President for Institutional Research, is retiring mid-June after 23 years. Dr. Conchita Hickey, Dean of University College, is retiring the end of this month after 39 years. And of course, President Keck, who is leaving us to take the helm of Texas A&M University at Commerce after 26 years at Texas A&M International University, 15 of which he has been our president. We wish each of you success in your new endeavor, and please do not forget Texas A&M International University. Well, congratulations, TAMIU Spring Class of 2016. This concludes our ceremony. Thank all of you for joining us. Have a great day and celebrate your success today. And you have less time than those this morning, but you have more time than those in the later ceremony. But your journey has just begun, as Regent Albritton mentioned. So I ask that everybody please remain in your seats until the stage party and the graduates have left. Thank you very much.